Broncos country, Nuggets nation, Avs territory, Mile High City, whatever you want to call it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Mark here, Marky Sports. Hope y'all having a wonderful day so far today. Quick video today. Looks like Nikola Jokic is pushing the Nuggets front office to acquire a very intriguing player, a future Hall of Famer. And I'll give you my thoughts about what I think about that. Before, guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to really help the channel. If you love Denver sports, if you're a big Nuggets fan, Broncos fan, Avalanche fan, and you also love fantasy football, then you're going to love this. Everything that I put on here is unscripted, unedited, just my opinions, and I'll bring it all to you as often as I possibly can. Also, leave me some comments, man. I love the comments. Love interacting with y'all. I'd love to have you guys all on the show, any opportunity to do so. All right, guys, so this report's coming out that the Nuggets are looking to acquire Russell Westbrook from the Clippers via trade. Another report said that Nikola Jokic is the one that's really advocating for the move. He's been kind of telling the front office that he'd love to have him on the team. When I heard that, I actually felt a lot better. And I kind of let this news marinate for a couple of days before I made a quick judgment, because what I've learned is that any emotional or any immediate judgment on something is usually going to be a bad take, or maybe say some things that I'm going to end up regretting that I had said later. So I gave it some time, because when I first heard it, I wasn't really intrigued. I didn't really like the idea of Russell Westbrook, because I was like, why? He's a little bit past his prime. He's not really a good shooter anymore. But then I kind of started thinking about it, and I can actually see how this particular move can make a lot of sense, right? Firstly, because of what Russell Westbrook is going to be able to bring to the team from a versatility standpoint. He's still a really good defender, and he can be a very physical type of guard that can also be a ball handler. So what this does is it allows for Jamal Murray to play off ball in certain situations if needed. They could play the two-man game with Russell and Jokic and have Murray kind of be that, basically the two guard in terms of shooting and scoring. Or they can just have it in the traditional way where, Russell Westbrook's playing the two, and they have Murray and Jokic playing the two-ball game. I think that that's something that's kind of intriguing, because when you look at the series last year versus the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards gave Jamal Murray a lot of issues on the defensive side of the ball specifically, right? I mean, he was a dog. He was all up on him. He wore him out. And yes, I do believe that Jamal was dealing with some nagging injuries, but regardless, I think that Anthony Edwards was just making his life miserable. And we didn't really have much of an option to be able to counteract that. You saw times where they had Jokic bring the ball up. You saw times where they had Aaron Gordon bring the ball up. They kind of switched things up a little bit on him. But by having somebody like Russell Westbrook who's a legitimate ball handler, who can be a distributor when needed, especially in this offense, it gives you a lot more versatility. And he's a bigger guy, a little bit more physical type of a guard. And so he would be able to really open things up a lot more than somebody like KCP did. KCP was a little bit more of that one-trick pony. He was a very good defensive player, and he was sporadic in terms of when and where he was actually shooting and scoring. And so the versatility that I think Russell Westbrook can bring to this team actually makes a ton of sense. You could also even make the argument that he could be really good off the bench as a backup to Jamal Murray strictly, if you wanted to play them both. If you wanted to play them both at the point and separately, to be able to not only give Jamal some more rest. So the options that they give this team, that he's going to be able to give this team, is something that I'm really, really intrigued by. Something else too, guys, that I was looking at is Russell Westbrook is not the same scorer that he's been, early in his career, because I really liked watching him early in his career. He was amazing. He was an all-star. He really is a future Hall of Famer. He had consistent years where he was scoring 20-plus points a game. He was averaging triple-doubles, 4 or 5 years in a row. People don't really remember that. But I think he averaged I think they said he averaged triple-double like 3 out of the 4 years or something in his career. But anyways, the guy is a bona fide stud who's obviously, he's 35. He's a little bit later in his career. But if you look at his numbers as of late, like last year he played with the Clippers. He averaged about 22 minutes a game. And in those 22 minutes, he still averaged about 11 points, right? The year before, he averaged 30 points a game. He averaged about 15 points. So he's a double-digit scoring type of a guy, a little bit more of a distributor. He's a good rebounder. That's why he gets a lot of the triple-doubles that he has in his past. But what I was intrigued by was when I looked at his playoffs, right? This last year in the playoffs, he wasn't, very good for the Clippers. He didn't really play too much, played more of the reserve role. But the year before, in 2022, in the playoffs with the Clippers, he averaged 23 points in the playoffs on 38 minutes. He was their best player, arguably, in the playoffs that year. They ended up losing, I think, in 5, but he was awesome. He played super well in the big games, in the playoffs. But I like him in this team because he's not going to need to be the primary scorer. He's somebody that teams are going to have to account for. And as long as he's opportunistic with how he's playing and he takes advantage of his matchups, I think he could be really solid. I do think he would be an upgrade over KCP for sure. And I think he would add a lot of value to this team. So, like I said, at first, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But then when I kind of started seeing the role, because I did think when I heard the news, I really did think that the Nuggets were going to still try and get KCP given the Reggie Jackson news. But when that didn't happen, it all really started to make a lot of sense. So let me know what you guys think. Put it in the comments. You guys like this move? Do you hate it? Why not? I've interacted with a few of you guys on Twitter, and it seems like overall the sentiment is pretty positive, especially after it's kind of marinated for a couple of days now. So let me know what y'all think. More content coming up. You guys have a wonderful day. Spend time with the people that you love the most. As always, a mile-high salute to all you guys. Peace out.